Silverstone circuit was the scene for the penultimate event of the 2015 Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship. With 6 races left to run, the pressure was beginning to build, and no fewer than 11 drivers were still in mathematical contention coming into the weekend. The 1.64-mile track leaves drivers with no margin for error, and in qualifying there was almost nothing to separate the field. The top 23 cars were covered by just 1 second. Having dominated both free practices on Saturday, Matt Jackson stole the march to score back-to-back pole positions for Motorbase Performance, but it was Gordon Shedden who perhaps put in the performance of the session to go second with maximum success ballast aboard his Honda. Sam Tordoff also impressed to rocket his BMW up to 3rd in the last few moments, while main championship challengers Jason Plato and Matt Neal would start the first race from outside the top 10. With Jackson's forward focus on song, he drove a near flawless race and led from lights to flag in perfect conditions on Sunday. As the cars tore off the line, Shedden had to defend from the WSR car of Tordoff as he tried to pass around the outside, but the Scotsman held his nerve and hung the BMW out to dry, dropping him down a couple of spots behind Andrew Jordan and Dave Newsham. Jordan's MG wasted no time in squeezing past Shedden's Honda on lap 2, and as he set off in pursuit of Jackson, Shedden had to defend from a recovering Tordoff and a huge train of chasing cars. Plato, who dropped behind Neal's Honda in the opening exchanges, soon found himself under pressure from Rob Collard's Team JCT 600 car, who pulled alongside down the Wellington Straight and completed a stellar move around the outside at Brooklands to take the position. The BMW man also made it past Neal and Tom Ingram to eventually finish 7th. As the field concertinaed up at the end of the race, there was more drama for Plato, as a puncture put him out of contention on the very last lap. This handed a big haul of points to Shedden, who managed to cling on to 3rd as Jackson and Jordan crossed the line ahead. With fastest lap time setting the race 2 grid, Jackson once again lined up on pole, with Jack Goff alongside in the MG, and Andy Prio securing 3rd position, having started right at the back of the first encounter. Prio stormed up into 2nd immediately ahead of Goff, but Jackson also started well and held on to top spot in the early laps. With some big hitters in the mid-pack, the early laps were an action-packed affair, with Turkington, Tordoff, Neal and Plato all battling it out for track position, with the other Motorbase forward of James Cole in the mix as well. It was a 4-car fight for first as Jackson defiantly held on with 75 kilos of ballast on his car. Aaron Smith closed in on the back of Jack Goff, and as he tried to find a way through on lap 6, the pair made slight contact, sending the MG sideways at Brooklands. Despite this, the pair held station, and it was soon the battle for the lead that grabbed everyone's attention. Prio had been hunting Jackson since the opening lap, and just before mid-distance, the number 111 car pounced. Getting a fantastic run out of the first corner, he drew alongside and was through into Maggots. Jackson tried to repass at the same spot a lap later, but couldn't get close enough, and after a few more laps of Silverstone, the race 1 winner suffered a left front puncture that dropped him to the pit lane. Plato recovered a number of places towards the end of the first race from Cole and then from teammate Colin Turkington, putting him in the mix for the reverse grid race as he crossed the line 7th. This was 3 places behind Shedden, who extended his championship lead yet further. With the pressure alleviated behind, Prio went on to score his 2nd win of the season by almost 2 seconds, as Goff and Smith were both promoted 1 place to complete the podium. It was to be pole for Cole as number 10 was chosen for the final race of the day at Silverstone. Rob Collard got the whole shot into Copse for the first time, but it was Turkington on the march from 3rd, keen to keep his title hopes alive. The reigning champion made a superb late lunge into Brooklands on lap 2, and it was a timely manoeuvre as the safety car was deployed moments later after Hunter Abbott and Dan Welch had a coming together. Having started right at the back, Matt Jackson was on a mission, and as the safety car came in, he was already making moves into the top 10 past Aidan Moffat's Mercedes, and it wasn't long before he was right on the back of the battle for 4th. There was some close inter-team scrapping with 10 laps completed as Sam Tordoff looked for a way past Collard and made slight contact. As the pair recovered, it backed up James Cole, and he lost a handful of places to Plato, Shedden, Neal and Adam Morgan in just a couple of corners. It was tense times for the championship leaders, as Shedden closed to within inches of Plato's rear bumper. But Despite running side by side with the Team BMR Volkswagen, the Honda man opted for the safer option and slotted back into position. As the race entered its final stages, there was a tough battle between young guns Tom Ingram and Aidan Moffat, with the pair swapping paint on consecutive laps as they vied for a top 10 finish. Ultimately, it was the Laser Tools racing car that came out on top, as Moffat forced his way through on the penultimate lap. Out front, though, it was the number 1 Volkswagen of Turkington that powered to victory, ensuring he goes to the Brands Hatch finale with a chance of retaining his title. The 2 BMWs completed the podium, but with Plato crossing the line just 1 spot ahead of Shedden, the Scotsman remains firmly in the driving seat with just 3 races to go in 2015. As the sun set over the iconic grandstands in Northamptonshire, Louise Goodman spoke to the man 23 points clear and with the target on his back, Gordon Shedden.
And bearing in mind, Gordon, that this has traditionally been a bit of a bogey circuit for you, it's not been a bad weekend, has it? Yeah,
pleasant surprise. We didn't really know what to expect coming into this weekend, but you know, we've been in a better place with the Civic Type R this year, and I mean it's been a fantastic weekend to not bleed any points to Jason, but to actually increase the lead in the championship. It's been yeah, fantastic.
How much of a surprise was it?
A big surprise, but you know, we've done our homework and we're working this car well. You know, we're trying to set it up to carry the ballast, and you know, 3 clean races there, which has worked really well for me. Really good, strong points, and you know, obviously leaves me with an opportunity going into Brands in a couple of weeks.
You're on the back of Jason all throughout that final race, but as always, as we know in the past, you know, he's a difficult bloke to get past, isn't he?
Yeah, it's going to be tough, and especially around here, it's not the easiest circuit to pass, and you know, he can be quite defensive quite quickly. And you know, Matt was behind, and I thought, you know, do I let him have a go and you know, have a go at Jason? But it's, you know, I think with Morgan and with Cole straight behind Matt, it was too risky to try and do that. So you know, I pushed hard. Jason didn't make any mistakes, and you know, only lost 2 points in that last race to him. So I'm chuffed with that.
You've pulled out a reasonably healthy gap on Jason in second place going into the final rounds at Brands Hatch, but. Thank you very much, Mickey. But, you know, how much breathing space does that give you?
Not enough is the answer. You know, we can see how quickly it can all turn round, you know, with non-finishes, punctures, contact, anything like that. So, you know, don't get me wrong, I'm delighted. I'd rather have the points than not. But I know that there's, you know, there's 3 extremely tough races to come at Brands Hatch.
You've been in this position before, though, haven't you? Leading a championship, going into the final round. You know how to fight to win a championship. How much of a help is that for you?
Yeah, it was obviously a very new experience the last time. I'm sure it'll be, you know, be an every weekend at Brands. But you know, I'm comfortable, I'm calm. I've got a great car. You know, Dynamics. I've got a great car. You know, with the new Type R, and yeah, I go there full of confidence. And
you're the backing of your teammate, no doubt, to help you out. Matt just coming over to join us. Your wingman.
Well, it was. You know, we were kind of caught in a bit of a line in that last race, and you know, he was getting some abuse from behind, and you know, it was just all running a bit of a line. It wasn't an ideal situation, but I don't think anyone could go anywhere. And Jason's a wily old fox. He's going to drive it down the white line, and for love nor money, there's no way a Honda was going to get past there today.